So, accounting for electricity company, final accounts, illustration 2. The following balances are drawn from the books of an electricity supply company for the year ended 31st December 2010. Finalize the accounts following double account system. So, these are the particulars given in these illustrations. So, if we clearly observe, so in the problem itself, all items are segregated and mentioned in the respective heads. Say for example, sale of electricity. So domestic sale as well as a commercial sale. So miscellaneous revenues, meter rent, survey connection fees, public lighting maintenance. So other revenues, sale of stores, repair of electrical apparatus, and maintenance expenses. So assets as on 1st January 2010. This is opening assets. So we have to find whether is there any assets raised during the year. So share capital. So these are the sources of funds. Share capital, government grant, customer contribution service line, loan, reserve. So another thing is capital expenditure during 2010. The high voltage plant. So during the year. So assets at the beginning and assets during the year. So loan raised during 2010. This is the loan raised from the electricity board. Okay, other assets and liabilities as on 31st December 2010. So these are all current assets and current liabilities. So charge of depreciation at the rate of 5% on all assets. Okay, let's move on to the solution. We have to prepare revenue account, net revenue account, as well as the capital account and general account. So these two are belongs to the nothing but profit and loss account. Revenue account is nothing but a profit and loss account. Net revenue account is a nothing but profit and loss appropriation account. But the name is different. So capital account, the balance sheet under the double accounting system, we separate the capital items and other other asset related or liabilities related in the different two parts. Say for example, capital account, it shows all capital receipts and capital expenditures. In the sense, so capital receipts means sources sources of finance, and how we utilize, how the company utilized those sources towards the capital expenditure, in the sense fixed assets. So in the general balance sheet, so whatever the balances from the capital account, we have to carry forward in the general balance sheet, and then current assets and current liabilities we have to mention in the general balance sheet, and whatever the balance from the net revenue account, we have to transfer it to the balance sheet, and we have to mention in the reserves and surplus. So any other fund like depreciation fund, reserve funds, we have to mention it in the liability side of the general balance sheet. Why? Because we are not going to reduce the depreciation amount from the fixed asset. So with this small description, we'll move on to solve the problem. So first one, sale of electricity, that is domestic and commercial. So it is a revenue. We have to mention it in the revenue side. by sale. Miscellaneous revenue and other revenues. So credit side of the revenue account. By miscellaneous revenue and by other revenues. So see, the problem size is bigger, but it is very simple problem. So maintenance expenses. So salaries. See, even though we are copying it, just clearly observe what are the items given in the expenditure or revenue. Okay, salaries, operations and maintenance, high voltage distribution, so low voltage distribution, public lighting, consumer servicing, okay, general establishment charges and interest amount, bad debts, management charges. So all of these are related to the revenue expenses. However, so in this maintenance expenses, there is interest which is having 12 lakh 10,000 amount. So this interest may be from the loan or interest on debentures. But the thing is, the balance sheet there is no sign of debentures given. So what I assume is this interest is belongs to long-term borrowings. So interest on long-term borrowings, we have to treat it as revenue expenditure. In the sense, it will come under the revenue account debit side, miscellaneous expenses. So if you have any doubt, then please put a note that you are assuming whatever the treatment. Low voltage distribution. Okay, now it is okay. So miscellaneous expenses are owed. So assets as on 1st January 2010. These are all the opening assets. This is, we have to mention it in the capital account. So capital account, it consists of 3 columns. So in the first column, all these amounts will, we have to post it in the capital account. So assets as on, I'll just simply mention assets. High voltage, medium voltage. Okay, now it is okay. So additions during the year. Okay, next item. We'll go one by one, no hurry. So share capital, government grant, consumer contribution for service line, loan, reserve. Okay, so these are all the receipts of the capital. So capital account, credit side. Government grant, consumer loan, reserve. Okay, now it is okay. So another one is capital expenditure during the year. So during the year, high voltage plant 14 lakhs. High voltage plant 14 lakhs and low voltage plant 15 lakhs. So capital account during the year. Low voltage account 15 lakhs. So next, loan raised during the year 25 lakhs. Loan in the sense it is a capital receipt. Loan during the year 25 lakhs. So other assets as on assets and liability as on 31st December 2010. So these are all current assets as well as current liabilities. In the sense we have to mention this in the general balance sheet. So general balance sheet. Don't worry, I'll mention only liabilities. So all items came, so except depreciation. So we have to charge the depreciation in the revenue account. Depreciation. So how much is the depreciation? At the rate of 5% on all assets. 5% on all assets. So total assets cost. Total assets, how much it is? So we have to calculate the total assets. I'm just totaling the capital account so that total capital expenditure as well as the capital receipts. So this is the total capital expenditure in the sense total of assets, all assets. So on this 39 lakh 40,000, sorry, 390 lakh 40,000, we have to calculate the depreciation. So it amounts to 19 lakh 52,000, and after charging against the revenues, we have to transfer it to the depreciation fund. So that depreciation fund will appear in the liability side of the general balance sheet. So immediately we'll go to the general balance sheet, depreciation fund account. So it is 19 lakh 52,000 because there is no opening balance of depreciation fund. So in the sense, whatever we have to post it here as a depreciation fund. Why? Because we are not going to deduct it from the assets. Okay. So we charge the depreciation and okay, let us finalize the so the total of the credit side of the revenue account is 26 lakhs, sorry, 262 lakhs 65,000. 262 lakhs 65,000. So the balance figure is 54 lakh 99,000. To our net revenue balancing figure. So 54 lakh 99,000. See, in the given illustration, we do not have any transaction relating to the net revenue account, in the sense appropriation amounts. So that we'll just directly move on to the capital account. So before going to capital account, so whatever the profit amount by balance carried down, that is 5499 to balance carried down, it is brought down. So this revenue account balance, net revenue account balance, we'll mention it in the general balance sheet under the reserves and surpluses. Net revenue account, which is 54 lakh 99,000. Okay, so we already finalized the capital account balances. So whatever the total capital receipts, see, total capital receipts, in the sense these are the sources, nothing but liabilities. So total capital receipts 46 lakh, sorry, 406 65 lakhs 50,000. Total capital expenditure, that is 390 lakh 40,000. Okay. Okay, let us tally the balance sheet. See, we have a balancing figure in the balance sheet because it is the difference between it is the difference amount in the trial balance. So if any such kind of balance appear in the balance sheet, we'll just mention it as a suspense account. So this is so it comes around 8 lakhs rupees. So by mentioning the note, we just transfer this amount to suspense account. So this is how we have to solve the final accounts in the electricity company.